Well guys, it's October, and you know what that means. Oh, yeah. Hey guys, what is going on? And welcome to my Halloween Horror Reviews 2021. And man, I cannot tell you all how excited and how happy I am that I'm going to be doing these reviews for you all once again this year. I'm telling you guys, I have been so excited about doing these again once again in October that I have planned and scheduled out everything literally since February of this year. And yes, I have just been that fucking excited about this whole thing this year. As you all know, I absolutely love horror films. I love the feeling of being scared. I love that adrenaline rush of fear. And I know this might make me sound psychotic or something, but just please bear with me here. I love the idea, and I love that feeling of knowing that after I have seen a horror film that has scared me shitless or even more so, traumatized me, I love that feeling of going back home, getting into bed, and going to sleep knowing that I just might have a nightmare from that film that I just saw. Yes, it just might be psychotic. At the same time, I just adore horror films that much. And also, by the way, I have double the amount of content coming out this month. I cannot wait to share what I have in store for you guys. And also, I have a couple of live streams planned with my buddy Mr. Garrison on a particular indie horror game franchise that I cannot wait to revisit with not only him, but also with you all been following me since my Twitch days. I have decided to change up things just a little bit. I've decided to tweak up how I'm doing this because here's the thing. I only reviewed films I either really liked or films that I absolutely loved. Not the case this year. Not only am I reviewing films I either really liked or loved, but reviewing films I either may have thought were just okay, or films that I do not like whatsoever. Before I continue on, not only this review, but every single review that I'm doing for this year's Halloween Horror Reviews is going to contain spoilers. Now, obviously, if you guys have seen the title of the video and know what this movie is that I'm reviewing, for any of my up-and-coming videos this month, if you haven't seen the movies that I'm reviewing, which you all know when those videos come out, these reviews will contain spoilers. So, with that being said, it is time to kick off my Halloween Horror Reviews 2021 by reviewing a movie based on a very famous video game franchise, to which, if you haven't seen the title of the review, I am reviewing 2002's Resident Evil, written and directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, to which, if y'all know my history with the Resident Evil film franchise and Paul W.S. Anderson, it's a bit, well, not kind, if I must say so myself. In Resident Evil, we follow Alice, played by Milla Jovovich, a character that wakes up with almost no memory because she is suffering from amnesia. She wakes up in this big mansion, which turns out to be the entrance of this underground laboratory called the Hive, which also houses these workers for a corporation named Umbrella. Unbeknownst to us, has just created a virus called the T-virus, which was supposed to be a medical breakthrough. However, this virus happens to have some pretty, and I mean pretty bad side effects. If you happen to get infected, either by the virus itself or by a bite from a zombie, well, you're kind of screwed. Alice and this cop named Matt are not really ambushed, but they're welcomed, I guess, for the lack of a better term, by these Umbrella Corporation commandos who have been sent to the Hive to not only contain whatever is going on, but to also essentially, well, get rid of all the evidence, and they must do all of this in 90 minutes. Alrighty guys, so let's get into Resident Evil.
Damien!
I want to tell you all about my story of how I first encountered this movie. I love the Resident Evil games, and I was not able to see this movie when it first came out. This came out in 2002, and I had not quite yet turned 10. I was 9 years old, and there is no way in hell that my parents would have taken me to go see this movie. I was able to play the games though. Like, I had played Resident Evil 1, I had played the remake, I had played Resident Evil 0, which I absolutely loved. One of the more underrated games as well, by the way, the franchise. That game does not get enough love. If I remember correctly, I think this was about maybe 8 months after the film first came out, and at the time being, I had one of those premium cable channels, and I think this was around like, what, 1 o'clock, maybe 12:30 at night. I was so excited to finally see it, and as a kid, I absolutely loved this movie, knowing I'm a big fan of the Resident Evil film franchise. I fell in love with this movie. I liked the characters at first. I loved the atmosphere. I thought this was a scary as hell movie. Over time and over age, people's tastes change. And my taste definitely changed. Surprisingly enough, this is gonna shock you guys. I did watch this movie a couple of nights ago in preparation for this review, and I found myself surprisingly not hating it even more so. Like, there were quite a few things about Resident Evil, the first movie, that I found to be rather well done, which I know is a big shock to all of you because I know all of you are expecting me to bash this movie. But here's the thing, if I were to line this movie up against a bunch of other video game adaptations, this movie isn't the best. For me, the best one to this day is the original Mortal Kombat, which coincidentally was directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. However, amongst the myriad of bad video game movies, this one, surprisingly enough, still to this day, isn't so bad compared to the rest. The first Resident Evil movie isn't a terrible movie. The movie itself is just, it's fine. One of the things that I do enjoy about this movie is how this film shows the creation of the T-virus and knowing how, without dialogue, hearing that score, which by the way, I'll get into later, I love the setup, I love the intrigue, I like the urgency of how everyone's trying to get the hell out of there, even though some of the acting here I'll get into isn't the greatest, but still, there's at least a sense of urgency in the first 5 minutes, and I really do enjoy about this film. The production design of the first Resident Evil film is surprisingly not that bad. The design of the original mansion where the entrance of the Hive is, the Hive itself, it really makes me feel like I'm stepping into the world of the video games. One particular thing that I really liked about Resident Evil were the designs of the zombies, of the zombie dogs, of the liquor. I really liked the special effects makeup on not only the human zombies, but the dogs. The dogs in this movie, surprisingly enough, they looked really good and quite creepy in all honesty. The liquor in this movie, the boss battle in this movie, looked just like it does in the video games. There are a couple of scenes that I think are really well done. I also really enjoyed the laser room sequence. Oh my god, that sequence is so damn cool, and you know what? I would not be surprised if they got inspiration. Well, actually, I just realized. I was about to say I wouldn't be surprised if they got inspiration from Resident Evil 4, but Resident Evil 4 came out after this movie. This is a big what if. What if Resident Evil 4's laser room scene was inspired by this? That just blew my fucking mind right there. Another sequence from this movie that I really liked is when they first encountered the zombies. I really liked how Paul W.S. Anderson stages the action, to which I cannot believe I just said that. I love the intensity going on with that awesome music. One of my favorite scenes in this movie, probably my second favorite scene in this movie, involves a scare. Now, here's the thing. If y'all have seen the later Resident Evil films, the later Resident Evil films relied on jump scares. I mean, nothing but jump scares. But in this movie, there are surprisingly enough 2 well done scares. One of them is a false alarm scare, which does not think fuck. It does not culminate in a loud sound, but it's a scene where Alice looks into the tank that housed the liquor, and one of the commandos from the Umbrella Corps comes up and kind of freaks out Alice. But one scare in this movie, I remember when I first saw this as a kid, this scared the crap out of me, and even then, I still think it's rather effective. The characters are walking across this hallway, they notice that there are bodies within these tanks. One body comes out and scares one of the characters, and we think that this character is dead. However, in this shot, the camera goes into the tank, and we see a close-up of that character's face, and the eyes just open up along with that sound. For some reason, that scare scared the shit out of me as a kid. Even to this day, I was just like, you know what? that's an effective scare. The one thing about Resident Evil that I love the most is the score of this movie. Oh my God. The music in Resident Evil, honest to God, kicks ass. The music in the next Resident Evil installments, I just never liked the music. The main theme of the Resident Evil of this first movie, the main theme song, not only I feel like fits Resident Evil, but it fits the Umbrella Corporation more than anything else. Knowing how evil they are, it just works to perfection. And honestly, Marco Beltrami, and I would say their person's name, but I've heard some kind of fucked up stuff about him as of recently, but Marco Beltrami and his co-composer did such a phenomenal job. The other thing that I love about this film is the last 5 minutes. The last 5 minutes of the first Resident Evil film are fucking excellent. Alice wakes up in that bed, she comes out, and you start hearing that score by Marco Beltrami starting to come up a little bit. She's walking around the hallways. She exits with that hospital gown on. The discovery of the scene, seeing Alice walking on in a desecrated and abandoned raccoon city. If this movie had the vibe of the ending scene, this entire film could have been so damn good. Seeing Alice going through the police cars, she gets that shotgun, she looks like she is ready to face everything. She pumps that shotgun, the camera goes out, the music swells, you see the destruction of Raccoon City, and then, bam, cuts to directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. This fucking ending is so good. It pains me to see where the rest of the film franchise went, especially with the final chapter.
Happy parents, you old fuck!
With that being said, though, was it a good movie? No, because there are a lot of issues that I have with this movie, and I mean quite a few issues. I love how it starts off showing how the camera goes into that one room and waits till scientists are creating the T-virus. The one thing that I don't like about the sequence is the opening narration. I don't know why it's there. They're literally just explaining what the film is about to do. It's not necessary. If you would have cut that out, that first 5 minutes would have been so much better. The performances. Oh my God. And along with that, the characters. Besides Alice, besides Rain and Matt, I couldn't tell you all a single character's name in this movie. None of the core, well, besides Rain, or even the person who was supposed to be Alice's fiance in this movie. They're just that forgettable. And the performances, they're not good. I do want to address something. I'm a big fan of the games. I completely get that the dialogue of the games is not the greatest dialogue. Some of it is quite cheesy. Like, for example, some of the dialogue throughout the games and the delivery, like this. And this.
Stop it! Don't open that door!
And this.
Oh no, you must be kidding! After we've come all the way here!
Ladies first!
Paul W.S. Anderson's dialogue, however, is even worse in the video games. With the games, even though the dialogue is cheesy, you know what you're getting yourself into. But with the movie's dialogue, Paul W.S. Anderson writes dialogue that is just, it's cringy as all hell. In particular, there's a scene, oh my word, it makes me laugh every time I see it. And I've seen this movie like, what, 6 times now? I want to talk about a particular storytelling issue that drives me nuts, and it still does to this day. Rain's character, Michelle Rodriguez, gets bitten 4 fucking times. 4 times in this movie. And somehow, she is able to survive the entire film until the final 15 minutes before she finally turns. And by the way, even more bullshit, something that I just felt like, why? In the 3rd act of the film, they find the antivirus. Even after she gets the antivirus, she still turns? How in the shitting hell does one of her teammates turn in 10 minutes, yet she has this plot armor throughout the entire film? And then, again, she gets the fucking antivirus. She should be good, right? No, she still turns. What's the goddamn point of using the... Sorry. If there's something else that I find to be really dumb, it's the action of this movie, especially when Alice's character fights. She literally beats the zombies to death. There's literally a scene in this movie where she does a spin kick against the zombie dog. fucking stupid. So overall, Resident Evil is a movie that, surprisingly enough, and I know this is going to shock the hell out of all of you, I don't hate the first Resident Evil film. In fact, I do find Resident Evil to be a fine movie. But this is the disappointing type of fine. Given the universe and the lore of Resident Evil, this movie could have been, and it should have been, so much better than it actually was. All in all, Resident Evil should have been so much better than it actually was, and I'm gonna give Resident Evil a 2 out of 5 stars. It is the best one of the film franchise, but given this film and the franchise itself, that is not saying a lot, but still, this is easily the best one out of all of them. Alrighty guys, so comment down below and let me know, out of all the Resident Evil films, which one do you guys enjoy? Let me know below. If you guys want to follow me on social media, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. I'm also on Snapchat, so if y'all want to follow me on all those social media platforms, all the links in the username in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of the first Resident Evil. If so, please hit that like button, also subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell for whenever the latest video of mine goes live. And I hope you guys are looking forward to the rest of my Halloween horror reviews 2021. Get ready because it's going to be a hell of a ride. But with that being said, if you guys want to see my previous 2 videos, please click on the right there or there. And of course, until my next review of my Halloween horror reviews 2021, I will see you all next time.